Hi guys, my name is Carolina and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be teaching you the difference in between want and need. So a lot of people are so confused about if I want something, is that something that I actually need? And I want to teach you in my manifestation process, in everything what I've done until now, what was the biggest difference for me in between wanting and needing something. Because let's just think, a lot of people has in their lives a lot of stuff, for example, that they don't actually need, but they wanted to pursue, they wanted to purchase a lot of different things, and now they're having them, but they don't necessarily need them. What I would say from my personal experience is that we need to have both. We actually always have both. We have what we want, and we get what we need. So let me explain you a little bit more about it. I would say that wanting something is decision. So wanting something is being so clear on a conscious level that you actually want something. And the emotion is prerequisite for manifestation. So by being clear what you want, you will get that, you will manifest that, you will manifest that amount of money, you will manifest that kind of relationship, you will manifest that kind of environment. The same thing happened to me. But if you're operating from an unconscious level, let's call it like that, let's just say that you now don't know what you actually want, and let's call it, yeah, I'm not clear what I want, but all the time you're getting what you need. So let me give you a little bit more, let me go more in the details. So by getting what you need from your environment, which you are attracting with your thoughts, you're more and more clear what you actually want. So when I started changing my identity, which was the core of everything, which is the core of my change in general, I started to asking myself what I really want. And I must be honest with you, I really don't know what I want. I didn't even know from where to start. So I started to make a list what I am doing in a daily basis that actually makes me feel happy, what I'm reading, what kind of things I have around myself, on what kind of events I'm going, like what kind of people I'm following, what kind of activities I'm engaged with. So even at that point, I was not clear what I want. I knew where my time goes, in what kind of activities I am engaged, but I couldn't define what I really want. So if I was not able to define what I actually want, I was getting what I need. So what I'm saying with that, I was getting like a lot of different things presented into my reality, and I was able to choose based off feeling what actually feels attracted to me. So what I want to say with that is that process is not always enjoyable, you know. So for example, in the last 8 years, I changed a lot of places. I was exploring a lot of places, where I want to live, what kind of environment I want to be in, what kind of job I'm enjoying, because at that point I was also working at corporate jobs. I was also exploring what kind of relationships I want to have in my life. It was like a crucial point also for my personal relationships and my friendships, where I realized that I am not resonating anymore with the people that I had at my life at that point. So exploring period, when you are not so clear what you want, but you're also afraid and you don't know how to pursue, or how to move yourself, and how to move yourself with the trust, makes you in a position when you feel really, really stressed, because now you don't know what you want and you're not clear on your next steps, which makes you feel blind. And for people, for example, for me, it was letting go of a control was something that I don't want to do. It would be the last thing that I could ever be doing, because that's the only thing that I'm in control with. So it makes such a big gap in between where I am and where I want to go. This is why that question, what do you want, it's so important. So let me give you another example. When I was trying to make a differentiation, what actually do I want, I realized that I'm operating from a state where I know how I can get what I want, which is so crucial. So crucial, please listen to me. It's super important what I'm saying right now. When you know what you want from a perspective of, yeah, I know what I want and I know how to get it, this is not your real want. Listen carefully what I'm saying. This is not exactly what you want. Because we have two phases, two questions that we can ask ourselves. Do I know how to get it? And that point I was knowing, which is first indication this is not my real want. So it comes from my ego, it comes from my mind, because how would I not to know if I didn't had previous experience? So obviously I know. So it also comes from a place of knowing, but the different knowing. And the second question is that you think that you know how to get what you want. Why is that one equally from an ego perspective and equally, let's call it bad? Nothing is good or bad, but let's call it like that for this occasion. It's because push you also to the place where you already think that you know how to get thing that you want. Why this is so important? Because those kind of wishes, those kind of dreams will not excite you enough. If something doesn't excite you enough, if something doesn't give you something in your belly, something inside of yourself, when you see yourself like imagining yourself and it seems like impossible, it seems like such a big dream, it seems like I really don't know how to get it, but I know that I see myself on that stage. I know that I see myself working with those kind of people. I see myself in this kind of environment. I see myself living in those kind of apartments or houses. I see a lifestyle that I want, or a particular amount of money that I want to earn on a monthly basis. If this is not something that sparks inside of you that incredible wish that you want to go out, you want to pursue that, you want to make that dream happen, but you don't have a clue how it will happen, means that it's not want from your soul. It's not want from your higher self. It is something that you already know how to do it. You think that you know how to do it, but it's kind of equally the same. So we can say there is goal A, B, C, and we can put those two goals in a goals A and B. And the third C column can go goal which is completely seems like completely impossible, completely I really don't know how I will achieve that. But even that wish, even that kind of picture, that kind of imagination, that kind of visualization came into my experience, I know that I want to have that and I will have it. This is something that you need to look. This is something that you need to reach inside of yourself. Guys, I would wish that someone taught me that 10 years ago. So I started my journey with changing everything after I finished my MBAs. And I was really thinking, okay, now I'm good. I finished MBAs. My path will be much more clear. I will get really good job. But deeply inside of myself, I knew that I will be just starting a journey. And this is what happened for me. Until you don't go deep into your identity, until you just don't dive so deep, you just can't expect that your results will change. Your results are not something that should be changed in order that you change, because that change will be really short lasting. It is really other way around. The only way how something changes is only when you change yourself inside. If you raise your vibration, if your level of operation is on a higher level, this is the only way how you can change yourself. There is no other way around. You have to operate on a different frequency. And that different state of frequency will actually give you that clue, that information, that bridge, that person, that something. When you will be able to say, okay, now I understand, this is my next step. This is where I want to go next. This is what I need to be doing. You don't need to exclude everything from your life. That doesn't mean, oh, now I will figuring out how to be good only if one thing. In the end, maybe you will. In the end, maybe you will be able to choose only that one thing and just being the best in only that one thing. Same thing was with me. I was really experiential type of person, and I was really pushing myself into the experience because honestly, on the conscious level, I couldn't choose what I really want. So everything was created in my mind. And in that case, I knew that it's not coming from my soul. And I was not brave enough to just pursue something which seems completely irrational. So I was putting myself out in the world, let's call it like that, and I went through experiences in order to be able to know that life is presenting me, and at that point I will just choose whatever and wherever I need to go. And this is how I was living like for the last 8 years, which brings me to the place where I discovered that power of manifestation, where I discovered that I'm manifesting all the time, that I'm co-creating all the time, that I just need to put myself on a higher vibration in order to achieve the things that I really want, that I have to do that from a different level, from the different perspective. And this is where actually powers comes from. And this is where I actually found a peace and understanding. So when we talk about wanting and needing, I would say the only ultimate truth would be we get what we think about. We really do get what we think about because our thoughts creates our reality. But the difference in between wanting and needing, it's really just in a way how you operate, just in a way how conscious you can be when you are making decisions. Because it's really blend of both. It's not separation. There is no separation in between. We get what we want and we want what we get and what we need in the end. So it's everything together. But by discovering and by learning and knowing more about ourselves, there is a higher and a bigger probability that we will be able to knowing what we want. And at that point, everything what we are getting will not be only what we need to grow, but it will be combination of want and the need. And at that point, this is powerful. So let me wrap up everything for you right now. There are two really powerful questions that you can ask yourself if you don't know what you want. And you will know by the feeling, if you know how to get it. So you ask yourself, what do I want? And then, do I know how to get it? Well, yes, I know, which is not real clear want that you actually want. Second question, do I think that I know how to achieve what I want? Also puts you down, puts you in a state of comfort, which means it's not good. Want, again, it comes from a place of ego, from a place of mind. And then you should go for a third one when you really create that want in your heart, but you don't know at all how to get it. So if you want to connect with me, if you want to work with me, or if you want to discover or explore more about your wants, I'm teaching a really powerful program that changed my life, and I was mentored by the biggest names and teachers in a spiritual realm. So now I feel confident to share that with you. Please comment on this video and let's connect. Thank you so much.